time on Ended Up in Vegas, a 3-time Emmy Award-winning TV host who's been a part of Las Vegas television for more than 15 years. When she's not traveling the globe interviewing celebrities and reporting entertainment news, she's advocating for several nonprofits. She was named Vegas Magazine's 8 most influential women for her charitable work, and giving back is what she loves most about living in Las Vegas. Rachel Smith.
Hi.
Thank you for being on the podcast.
Wow, that was like high pitched, like Greg Brady. Was it Peter Brady? Oh my gosh.
Greg,
now I'm really dating my. Remember
when his balls drops.
We're already laughing.
It's a good episode of Brady Bunch. Look it up.
This is what this podcast is going to be made of, is just complete stomach.
I love that you know that reference, because I always say, like, when you hear somebody's voice drop, I'm like, they're like pulling a Greg Brady or whatever. Yes. Nobody knows what I'm talking about.
Remember they had to go do that like song, and it was time to change.
Yeah, get ready.
I'm totally dating myself.
Get ready to hold your stomach during this podcast interview, because Rachel Smith, you are one of the funniest people I know.
Wow.
Yes, you have the touch. So
that's a lot to live up to.
It is.
Pressure is on.
Okay, so we have to start first things first. How did you end up in Vegas?
Oh my gosh, a long time ago. No, honestly, and it's funny because that connects to Nicci and how I know you.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me on, both of you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming on.
I'm trying to think. That's what happens when you get older, kids. You forget. I think it's one of my first podcast experiences, though.
Hey,
really, I love it.
I love that.
And my first time on yours, for sure.
Yes, I love that.
How did I get to Vegas? I got here almost 18 years ago. I was working in Santa Barbara, California, in the Central Coast, so beautiful. And I had an offer to come anchor the evening news for a news station. It was going to be the then WB affiliate, and we're going to do news at 7 for Gold 33, and then a 10 o'clock newscast.
Yeah.
It was the only other 10 o'clock newscast on at the time besides Fox 5. And so it was funny because I was dating a guy, now we're getting real personal, in San Diego at the time. Wasn't Ron Burgundy, although he thought he was. Yeah. He thought he was a big deal. Yeah. No, but I got an offer to be a morning anchor in San Diego or an evening anchor at this brand new station in Las Vegas. Carla Carlini, who's a good friend of ours now, we didn't know then, was the news director. And I thought, Vegas, and a lot of people were like, you're not a very Vegas-y person. You don't gamble. You're not a major drinker or partier. But I decided to come here and wasn't really liking the guy in San Diego. So I thought, let's go this direction instead. And rest is history. I mean, I just fell in love with the city I never expected to love so much.
Yeah. You were a serious news anchor when I met you.
I was a serious newscaster. I know people are like, what? I'm like, no, I did the evening news, like serious newscasting. Yes.
Yeah. Rachel's hair was short. She would do this thing like...
I had the anchor bob for sure.
Yeah.
The little blown out bangs. Yes.
Yep.
Very professional. A suit every night. Yep.
Yeah. So Rachel was my very first anchor as a producer, as a TV news producer. And so we've known each other for this entire time that you've lived in Vegas.
Yeah, weren't you like in college?
Yeah, you called me. She coined me the Doogie Howser of news.
Because she was so good and so young. I'm like, wow, you are the Doogie Howser of news, you know?
I love
and she was so talented so early.
Thank you. It was a good compliment.
Yeah, you were my little producer back in the day.
Yeah. And now here we are.
Here we are. And I'm still 28.
Yeah, and I'm still 19 too.
You look it though, that's the issue.
Oh, thanks. So tell us what you're doing now.
So basically, I've been in Las Vegas now, almost 2 decades. And about a little over a year ago, I launched my own show called Lights, Camera, Vegas out of Los Angeles, out of Beyond TV, which is great because after doing, a show in Las Vegas and covering entertainment for so long, it's great, but it was only seen here in Las Vegas. Now, I'm basically getting to highlight Las Vegas and all of our amazing entertainment, all of our amazing headliners and shows and restaurants and casinos, but it reaches a national audience. So it's out of Los Angeles, but every single week it reaches this huge platform. I think we reach 8 million households a week. And so it's been fun to take my love of this city and this entertainment community and broadcast it further.
Yeah, it's amazing.
That's so is that something that's like syndicated, or is that like streamed, or? Basically
it airs on a station in Los Angeles, also airs in Salt Lake and some other local affiliates, but it's on demand streamed on all the the Roku, the streaming, everything on demand every week. So in a way, we've got these viewers, even like in London and Hawaii and, New York. So it's great that everyone can see it on demand every week.
Because I was in San Francisco with my daughter in October, and there was a feature they had on, what's his name, that did Hamilton. And it was
Manuel Miranda?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And it was interesting because I'm like in San Francisco with my daughter and we're watching Stream TV and they were talking about Las Vegas. And I was like, it's everywhere. We're everywhere.
It's kind of where the future is going. I mean, I have been a product of local affiliate television and I've loved it and I've had, great success and great opportunities with that. But I feel like more and more people would see my interviews or my work not from sitting down at a certain time to watch television, but because they'd see it posted on Instagram or TikTok or on the website. So people want to see their shows now on demand. So like when you buy these new TVs, smart TVs, and you see there's, Roku and Amazon and, what do you call it? HBO and
Hulu,
Apple Plus,
Netflix,
there's
all those,
Beyond TV. And we also have an app and you can watch everything, all of our shows and Lights Camera Vegas on demand whenever you want.
That's so interesting. So are you from California or where are you from originally?
No, I'm from Idaho.
Really? I love Idaho. What part?
From Spuds to Sin City. It's like, that'll be the book title for sure. I was born and raised in Idaho Falls, Idaho, and I lived there until I went to college at Washington State. So
that is so cool. It's a cute little town, and it's really grown, I think, and Idaho's really grown too.
I mean, it's a really cute and sweet place to be from. It literally is like growing up in the middle of the Footloose movie.
Yeah,
there was no Kevin Bacon, sadly, because I would have cut loose. Because he was cute, he still is. But but it really was. It was very conservative. It was great people. But yeah, my twin sister went to college in Chicago, and she's ended up staying there, and I went to school in Washington State and kind of worked in Seattle and Boise, Santa Barbara, and now Las Vegas for the last 2 decades.
That is so cool.
Yeah. Of all the places that you thought you could have ended up, was Las Vegas on the list?
No. Truthfully, no. I always thought I'd end up in like Seattle or Portland once I got to Santa Barbara, I'm like, well, this is the place.
Right. Yeah.
But I mean, but it was so nice. I was like 25 years old and not affordable. I mean, I was an evening news anchor there doing the 6 and the 10 o'clock news, dating my co-anchor at the time, which people did not know about, but which was interesting. But it was great, but you had to advance from that because it was a smaller market. Beautiful place to live, but hard place to make a living and then actually put down roots.
Yeah. So you have interviewed some of the most high-profile celebrities out there. I mean, what was one of the most memorable things that were interviews that you've had?
I mean, first of all, I'm so lucky and I'm so grateful. I realized that, going from newscasting, which I actually really loved. I always thought my path was going to be, because my dad's a school teacher, my sister's in medicine, very serious professions kind of are all around my family. My mom works in the medical field as well. So I kind of always envisioned I'd end up on 60 Minutes maybe, doing like really hard investigative stories, or CBS Sunday Mornings, like my favorite show, doing profiles and stories about people. Like I like stories about like ordinary people who are doing extraordinary things because I just love storytelling. But honestly, I always loved entertainment. I just didn't think it would be my career path, but I have loved it. And I'll tell you, even though I love doing news, covering movies over and covering murders, so much softer on your soul. And it's just given me so much joy. And so I've loved it. So, oh my gosh, I've talked to pretty much everyone. Like, can you guys...
Who's the most down to earth? Like most down to earth, high profile celebrity. I see like Rachel does interviews and then I'll see like pictures of her with like Matthew McConaughey and like all these other people. I'm like, oh, what must it be like to be Rachel?
Well, I mean, oh Lord, that's a long story. To be like Rachel, you do the robot a lot. I mean, honestly, it's funny because I would say by and large, what I've learned after doing this, I've been doing entertainment reporting now for, over 15 years. And I think the biggest stars are usually the most down to earth. It's like the A-list are great. Sometimes the ones that are most challenging are like, they just got a Bravo show. They're on a dating reality show. Like kind of the ones who want you to think they're a big deal, but don't have the talent. Sometimes those are the more challenging interviews because they're high maintenance. Yeah. When it's like, I'll never forget years ago interviewing Brad Pitt, for a sit-down interview. He was doing a movie with Quentin Tarantino. And lots of times these big stars come with huge entourages, right? He literally rode his motorcycle to the hotel, shows up. They're like, Rachel, you ready? I'm like, yep, I'm ready. Go in there. And he's like, hey, real quickly before I start, can I wear these sunglasses in the interview? Because I went to Green Day last night and I look like hell. And I'm thinking, he's like, you know what I mean? Went to Green Day concert. I'm like, okay. And I said, first of all, you can do whatever you want to. You're Brad Pitt. Yeah. And he was worried about looking bad. And I'm thinking, honey, even on your worst day,
Yeah.
you real pretty.
Even
You're real
bread.
pretty.
Yeah.
So down to earth, so nice, so charming. Huge. I mean, like Matt Damon's one of my favorites. The Rock is amazing. Tom Cruise is amazing. Sandra Bullock. I mean, any of the big stars I've always had really good experiences with. So, I mean, The Rock, by the way, so funny. He's one of the best. I'll never forget years ago. Remember when he was having kind of a thing with Vin Diesel, a little bit of behind the scenes drama. They sent us down to Rio de Janeiro for Fast 5, which was like a great assignment, right? And I was asking him, so if you and Vin were in a real life scuffle, he's like, Rachel, come on. He's like, have you seen those things? Those are like buggy whips. This is 22 inches of heaven. he's like, come here, come touch the dream. Come touch the dream. So I'm like, don't ask me twice. Okay. So I'm like, it is like a dream, right? So later that day, I, tweeted out what fun interviewing the cast of, Fast 5. And he's very good. One thing about The Rock, he's very good with his fans and he's very good with the press. It's not a surprise. He's become one of the biggest movie stars in the world. And so he responded to my tweet and he said, thanks, Rachel, anytime. See you back in Vegas. And you can touch my 22 inches of heaven anytime. And I was like, his bicep. It's his bicep.
Read the
I'm like,
caption.
you cheeky boy, you. But he's very good. I mean, The Rock is what you'd expect. So much fun.
I love him.
Yeah.
I'm a fan.
Yeah.
Who are some of your favorites? Like just personally, if you had like a few minutes alone.
Oh, well, we always joke that Charlie Hunnam should have a cutout like above our camera here because it's just black paint and acoustic tiles on the wall, and we feel like we're novices here. We're not professional TV hosts, if you didn't know. So it's hard for us to get going some days, and we're like,
We need people like in the audience. We need someone to look at instead of acoustic tiles.
if we had cardboard cutouts, it would be like Oprah. What did I say? What were my 3 people that I would want to have dinner with that I would want to cut out? Is Oprah, Charlie Hunnam, Dolly Parton. Which, by the way, did you meet Dolly Parton when we were on the set of Miss Congeniality too?
Well, no, because it's funny. I know my. Thanks for bringing up my major motion picture debut. 2 seconds. I'm not joking. But I just got a royalty
But she
check
still gets
for
royalties.
$7.42. No, I'm serious. You could not be in a movie for less amount of time and make money than I did. And I think over the years in royalty checks, I think I've made like $15,000. I mean, for something I would have done for free. But
I love that.
That's actually funny because when I was working with Nicci back at the now defunct WB, I think it's now turned into CW.
Yeah.
So it did live on, just not
Yes.
in its, original form. But they were doing Miss Congeniality 2. Was it Armed and Fabulous was the title?
Something like that.
In Las Vegas. And everybody, they wanted a real news anchor in Las Vegas to go up for it. And our boss at the time, Carla Carlini, was like, you should go audition for this. I'm like, I've never done any acting. They go, no, they just want a newscaster. And so I went and auditioned and got the part. And the day we filmed it, Sandra Bullock was there in studio. I remember she was like fixing my necklace, fixing my hair, like, Windexing the monitors. Like she was a producer and she was so great. But we didn't meet Dolly on that set, but we got to do a lot with Sandra, and she's been great. But I did meet Dolly another time, twice.
You did?
Yes.
And was it wonderful?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because they always say don't meet your heroes. They worry about that.
Can be a disappointment.
Oh, yeah.
I've heard. So a friend of mine is a photographer and he shoots the Emmys a lot and stuff. And I've heard stories about sometimes being disappointed with the interactions they've had. But I also think like that has to be really difficult to be like on all the time and having people constantly coming at you. And I don't know how I would.
Yeah, that wouldn't keep me from it. I'd be like, we're going to have this experience no matter what the outcome is.
Yeah.
Well, I think there's certain people in this industry that are just naturally gregarious and lovely and charming. I feel like if Hugh Jackman or Sandra Bullock or Dolly would have ended up being a school teacher or a CPA, they'd be the most lovely in the office. And then there's some people who love acting, but they really are uncomfortable talking about themselves or promoting their project. It doesn't mean they're a bad person.
Right.
They're just not naturally charismatic.
Yeah.
Or they don't like people. So thankfully, people like Dolly and the late, great Olivia Newton-John, meeting her and getting to know her on a personal level.
Yeah.
So, but Dolly, I'll tell you what, when I got to meet her, it was for that movie Joyful Noise with Queen Latifah. And she was early. I was the first up of the day, and I was in the you sit in hallways waiting for these interviews at hotels. And she came out, she's like, well, what you doing out here? And I'm like, I'm just waiting for you, Miss Parton. And I was like, and she had this like leather jumpsuit, and she's tiny.
So
I mean, most of her is.
Yeah.
She's so darling. And I'm like, I have to ask you, Dolly. I said, you are so darn cute. I go, how do you stay so small? And she's like, well, honey, I haven't had a carb since 1970. That's my problem. Too many carbs. But no, she's just what you'd expect. I mean, on a red carpet one time, they were trying to rush her in. And you're kind of talking to their publicist, like, just one question, just 1 minute, please.
Yeah.
And he's like, I got to get her in. And he's trying to pull her in. He's like, well, I'm not going to skip this little girl. She's been asking for just one question. So she's just, country music stars are also some of the best people, so down to earth. And Dolly is as amazing as you'd hope.
Have you read her book, the Song Teller book that she did? She did a whole book on all the stories behind all the songs that she's written. It's really neat.
Oh my gosh, I need that immediately.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I'm gifting you now for Christmas.
Okay.
So besides, I mean, there are so many, like, the entertainment industry has this stereotype of being very surface level, but I've seen you behind the scenes with all the people who run things behind the scenes, for Vegas PR. And, you are very, very known in that industry, and you have done way more than just entertainment in Las Vegas. So talk to us about, first I want to talk about Imagine Dragons, because I think that, you have been called out by them by name in concerts for being a huge part of them gaining notoriety in Vegas, and some of the other charitable work that you do in town that has really helped you plant roots here.
I thought you meant they called me out like, Rachel, stop singing. That's the wrong key, Smith. Just lip sync it. No, honestly, Imagine Dragons, another example of, oh my gosh, such great guys. And it's interesting because our connection, friendship kind of goes back to before they were even signed. They had no record deal. And in fact, some of the members have even changed. But years ago, I think their very first TV appearance was on Fox 5 when I was hosting the Moore Show. And a couple years later, I was actually in Hong Kong for the Transformers world premiere, kind of when Mark Wahlberg came on. By the way, a new Las Vegan.
Yeah.
Loves it, by the way.
Hey, Mark, come on
Come on
our show.
Come on our show. He loves Vegas now.
Yeah.
But I heard when I was in Hong Kong, because Imagine Dragons was there, because they were on the soundtrack and going to perform at the premiere, amazing premiere. And then basically they're talking about this charity they wanted to start in honor of, they had a young fan, Tyler Robinson. He was diagnosed with cancer and became friends with the band, and he was doing really great. He had rang the bell, he had beat the disease, and then sadly he passed away from it. And they were just so impacted by this friendship they had with this fan that they wanted to honor him and make sure that his legacy continued. So they started the Tyler Robinson Foundation. It'll be our 10th year for the gala coming up this year. And basically what it does is it raises money for pediatric cancer families. And getting to know this band that has grown from just doing local, I mean, they loved like the local clubs they went to and everything, to, worldwide superstars, yet they stayed so humble, so grounded, and they care the most of all their concerts they put on. They always say that night performing at the TRF Gala is the most important to them. So no, they've always been so good to people who've supported them along the way. I don't need that, but it says more about them than me, that they're so appreciative to those who've kind of been along for the ride and kind of helped with their vision, and especially with the charity.
But I think it says something about your personality too, in that you've seen so many acts over the years, and so many talented people come through your show and, perform. And so the space that you allowed for them to take up and really, accept them and promote them as you did was, really a reflection of your personality too. So she's funny, guys, but she's also like a really great human being, and she's able to recognize it's not just we're interviewing people for fun things. She's really able to recognize where talent, is really deserving. So that's why I love following your show, because you are able to give that more human, like how we would all feel about a person as a human being, and not just being like, oh, well, they're a great celebrity and everyone loves them.
Well, I honestly think being talented and being successful, that's great. That's all wonderful.
Yeah.
But the people that we connect to, I don't care if you're a celebrity, you're my neighbor, you're a pastor, whatever it is, are the people, being kind is the coolest thing ever. And so when you're kind and you're humble and I always think it's so funny, when you're so successful like these actors, you should be the most gracious. You, in a way, it doesn't mean your life is easy, but you're having a lot easier than a lot of other people out there who are struggling. So I always think the stars I talk to, or the celebrities or headliners, those who are most thankful, humble, and appreciative, and just downright good people, and give back. They have a massive platform. Find a charity, or if they can do something to lend their voice to an important cause, I think that's what makes them exceptional, not just the fact that they're talented or famous.
Yeah. And you're a best buddy. Tell us about Best Buddies.
Best Buddies is an amazing charity. Basically, it was started years ago by the Eunice Shriver, an offshoot of Special Olympics, in realizing that people who have Down syndrome or autism, people with special needs, a lot of times they just don't have friendships. People don't remember to invite them to a party or go to the movies or go to lunch. So basically, it creates one-on-one friendships for people with special needs. And about, 16 years ago. I was trying to do math, and that's when I get stuck. Clearly, kids, you don't like math, going to journalism. Because I didn't have to take any in college, okay? Seriously.
Algebra 2, I got it.
It's for my daughter who hates math.
Note to self, right? Exactly. But it's great. I used to do profiles on Fox 5 about Best Buddies and about the program. And then I met this young girl, Michelle DesRochers, and her buddy was going off to college. And they called me and they said, Michelle wants to see if you would be her buddy. And basically all it entails is kind of like being a big brother, big sister. And so for the last 15 years, once a month or so, we get together. She's so much fun. We go to the arcade, we go to movies, we get pedicures. She's very boy crazy, so she thinks all the boys I work with her. She thinks Sean McAllister, my former co-anchor.
Oh, yeah.
She put him in her phone as Brad Pitt because he is hot. You know, she has sign language too. She's like, yeah. But anyway, so it's been, you do these charity things and you think at the beginning, oh, this is a good thing for me to do, to give back and everything, not realizing how much more you gain. I mean, I'm sure she has fun with me. I'm sure she's gotten something out of it, but not nearly as much as I've gotten. It's been such a blessing in my life to spend time with her, because you can have silly, petty problems from work or with a relationship, but you go spend, an afternoon with, this young girl who only sees positive. She's so funny too. She's like, I was telling her, I'm like, oh, Michelle, I'm trying to eat healthy. She goes, I know, I've never known you really skinny. She goes, I mean, you're beautiful. She goes, you're fit in the front and curvy in the back. which is true. I mean, I got a booty, okay? But it's like, she says things in the cutest way. She's really funny too. So it's a great friendship. Michelle, follow her on social. She's very cute.
Yes, we would love to.
She sounds delightful.
Yeah, she is. She's cute. And I've seen you guys go out on the town and go out to eat and stuff. Tell us about some of your favorite Vegas spots to go to brunch, or restaurants that you refer your friends to when they come to town.
It's funny because I'm one of those people who I love the Strip too, because you have to work there so much and cover things. But I love going to places on the Strip. I also love local spots. I mean, I used to live over in Summerlin, so I love downtown Summerlin or Boca Park, Tivoli Village. But now I've lived in Henderson now for over a decade, so I love just going to the district. I love going to Hank's, to get a drink or happy hour. We used to call it happy hour, like cheap and cheerful. You know what I mean? Yeah. So we're racing before 6 o'clock. Get me too.
Yeah.
But there's so many little local spots, and I love to support coffee. I love Cafe Lola because it's locally owned and by two amazing women. So I try to support locally owned spots. You know what I mean? But it's always fun to go to Gordon Ramsay's Hell's Kitchen too, or try to impress your friends with some of the fancy spots in town.
What are your favorite shows?
Oh my gosh, it's like choosing a child. Okay. The one I've seen the most. Let me think. Come on,
Is
it's
it
larger than life.
Is it? It's got.
I want it that way.
Oh, okay.
I have a PhD in boy band, and Backstreet Boys are my favorite. So I have seen their show because it was part of my job. Probably 5 or 6 times easily. So
did you say 5 or 6?
Easily.
That's not too many.
No,
it's not enough.
No,
please come back, BSB, please. So I think Backstreet Boys amazing. Usher. Phenomenal. I mean,
you just saw him, right?
Rachel took me to Usher.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Isn't that an amazing show?
Yes, it's amazing.
I mean, he roller skates on the stage.
Yes.
And he's loving being a Vegas headliner. So during our interview, he's like, I want a street named after me. I love this community. I'm just all about being a Vegas headliner. Because he used to say, and he actually had a quote that said, when you make it in New York, they say when you make it in New York, you can make it anywhere. He says, when you make it in Vegas, you made it for life.
Oh, I love that.
I mean, that's kind of how the quote went. Don't you know what I mean? But something so
like that.
It's such a level of
yes.
I have not seen Adele yet, but Lady Gaga's jazz and piano show, amazing. I thought J-Lo's show was incredible. I mean, I pretty much have seen them all. Diana Ross, amazing. If she plays at the Wynn, you should definitely go see her. So many good shows. What's been your favorite? Oh, Keith Urban. He's back, by the way. He's changing venues from Caesars Coliseum over to, I call it the Pop Star Palace over it, it's not Pop Star anymore, but it's Zappos Theater at Planet Hollywood, which is But for a while, they had Backstreet, they had Gwen Stefani, J-Lo, Britney. So, but now
Yeah.
Keith is going to be there. His show is amazing.
I love him as a human. When he was on American Idol, I just love him. It's just so sweet.
Yeah.
He's so good. The country stars. I mean, this is really, we've got the chicks starting. I've seen Luke Bryan over at Resorts World. He's phenomenal. Love him.
Yeah, I'm excited about the Dixie
Shania was
Chicks.
so good.
I'm so ready. I didn't get to see Shania. I want her to come back.
That was a party.
I mean, I met her in person when she was kind of walking through downtown Summerlin. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did you say hi?
Yeah, totally talked to her. Yeah.
Nikki's like, have you met me? Of course I said hi.
Of course, I was like, "Hello, Shania Twain."
You don't know this, but we're friends.
Yes, exactly. Okay, well, actually, I think that about. Do you know who Teddy Swims is? Oh my gosh, Rachel.
What?
Okay,
Now I feel embarrassed.
I am friends with Teddy Swims in the future. I have him on speed dial. He is a fantastic musician.
Okay.
We have to have you interview him. I need to be there. I'll
For sure.
Yeah.
Come be my producer.
Yes.
Why don't you could just do the interview. I'll produce for you.
Perfect.
Okay.
I love that idea. Yeah, no, I mean, you know me in the Cirque shows, like Cirque in Vegas. This is what I aspire to be, is like a novice circus act in Pilates.
I mean, we're so lucky. We have all the headliners and the Cirque shows. We've
Yeah.
got smaller productions. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
we're really very spoiled in this town.
Well, and Megan just saw Barry Manilow the other night.
Are you a fan, Lo?
I am now. I'm particularly a fan of the storytelling part of the show. So there was a lot of interesting stuff. He wrote like the State Farm jingle, I think, or there was like that, and then like a bubblegum commercial. I didn't know that he wrote jingles.
Oh, yeah.
So there was just a lot I learned about him, and like his grandfather put him into music and saw his talent, and so that was the part of the show I loved the most. He was just like, it was really engaging.
I have a question for both of you. If you could, because it's so weird for me, by the way. I'm like, it's so weird to be
Yeah,
answering
it's
questions.
so
It's like,
weird.
I feel naked, but I'm dressed. Thank goodness. It's not that kind of show. Okay? Anyway, but if you guys could dream, like who would you, because it's so funny, like having friends over at work at Live Nation or Caesars Entertainment, like I'm like always hinting kind of who I'd love to see. If you guys could pick any star to have a Vegas residency that you'd love to see here on stage in the next couple of years, who would you love and why?
Ooh, that is tough.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like this is a really teeny bopper answer of me, but I'm going to say Ariana Grande.
Oh, she'd be amazing. There's no buzzer, but we'll just hit it anyway.
Buzzer.
Oh, she'd be great.
Yeah, or Lizzo. So if you can get Lizzo here,
I'll call her right now.
yeah, text her. Walkie-talkie? Aren't you on that level? Who are you on that level?
you just
Who's on your phone? Who's in your phone? Who's
Not Lizzo.
I'm going to be thinking of names for the next
Yeah,
week.
Megan, who is yours?
I don't know. I would have to think about this.
This is actually now what I'm going to plan when you kick the bucket. If you kick the bucket, I'm going to just go through your phone.
Oh my gosh, that's horrible.
Brad Pitt.
You mean 40 years from now?
No, we vacationed together. So if you've ever vacationed with me, my friend said I laid down on the bed and she didn't hear me breathe the entire night. She was making plans with my body, to dispose of my body. I was like, how about you just call the coroner?
She's watching too many true crime cases.
Yeah, yeah.
By the way, it's so funny. We went to a wedding recently, a mutual friend of ours, Lisa Remillard, who used to be an anchor here at Channel 13. Amazing girl. And we went to her wedding. We were sharing a room, and we had 20 minutes before we had to get ready and get showered and everything. So I'm like, 20 minutes, get a drink, scroll through the phone. I look outside on our patio. I'm doing nothing. She's doing handstands. You know what I mean? To get some extra working out. We already went for a casual walk this morning. Isn't that good? No, she's doing
some inversions.
But, okay, well, we'll think about you. You know who mine would be, by the way? I'm just going to put that out there.
Yeah,
because I'm going to manifest it. Lenny Kravitz.
Oh, yeah.
It could be called Light, Love, and Abs.
Yes.
A night with Lenny.
What was it like?
And they talk like that.
For me, it would probably be maybe Tina Turner.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Let's put that out there too. Tina,
Yes.
oh my gosh, she's amazing.
Oh my gosh.
Right?
Rachel, what was it like sleeping with Lenny Kravitz?
How did you get into my dreams last night? Honestly, that's my number one crush, for sure. I only interviewed him one time for Hunger Games. And it's funny because when you really have a crush on somebody and you're going to meet them, you're like, be cool, girl, be cool, right? And he's just, I asked him, I'm like, Lenny, you sing, you act, you're you. Is there anything you don't do well? Is there anything that comes as a struggle? Are you an awful cook? He goes, no, I make a mean frittata. And I'm like, I was like, oh my God, I think I'm pregnant. I was like, my ovaries were swelling. I was like, anyway, sorry. But he's just as cool. And Matt Damon, by the way, was always after seeing Good Will Hunting as, growing up. So interviewing him, it's like you try to be really professional. Like you don't want to ask for a picture.
Right.
Because like you want to just be you want to be a journalist and a peer, not a fan.
Yeah.
But I'm like, Matt Damon, I've interviewed him now several times, but the very first time years ago, my twin sister also loves him. She's like, if you don't get a picture with him. So at the very end, I said to him, I go, oh my gosh, Matt, I know we're out of time, but would you mind real quickly? My twin sister, Jennifer, really loves you. And if I get a picture with you, she can claim that's her with you.
Yeah.
So would that he's like, oh my God, of course.
Perfect.
I'm like, she really loves you. He's like, oh, tell her thank you. I'm like, no, it's really me.
So that was that was gonna be my question. Like, so who do you go fangirl over? And do you get like because Nicci, would you say you go quiet?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that would be me. And I'm like, is there anybody that you were just like so starstruck over that you like?
Oh my gosh. You know what's funny is it's not the level of star. It's like if I really respect them
Yeah.
and their talent, like Cate Blanchett, for example. A lot of the British actors that I think are so talented and just so good, you just don't want to sound, you want to come with good questions, you want to have a good experience, like you want them to enjoy it because it's, a long day of work for them. So definitely, like with Matt, the very first time I was so nervous and making sure my questions were good. Now he's like, and he's one of the best too. Love him. But yeah, I definitely, the ones you have loved, like the Dollys, the Olivia Newton-John, the people that you have like loved for life, when they turn out to be as good, if not better than you hoped, that's what makes me nervous. Because you just don't want to have an experience where you've loved them so much and then they aren't nice to you. And then you're like, oh my gosh, that's ruined.
Yeah.
So I've never had that happen.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's manifest this. What hotel are you sleeping with Lenny Kravitz in?
He's probably got some girlfriend.
Can I knock it off,
Rachel girl? I don't know. Anyway, Lenny, it's okay. You can come to Vegas. I won't stalk you. It'll be safe, okay?
I'm leaving space for you. I'm like, Resorts World, Bellagio.
How about just go straight to Shea Smith?
Yeah.
Now, is it Charlie Hunnam, both of your?
No.
Okay, that's Charlie Hunnam for you. Who's your celebrity crush? Yeah.
Jamie Dornan.
Very charming.
And not just like Christian Grey Jamie Dornan, but like if you look into him at all or watch him on like Graham Norton, or he's so funny.
So funny.
He dressed up as Tigger for his kid's birthday party. Like, he's just really funny, really down to earth. Like, that's what I love about him.
Rachel can tell you about him. She's met him.
Yeah.
I think he's actually, I like him better as Jamie than Christian Grey. And he's super funny and an accent. And he's goofy. I like him.
Yeah. Did you see that? I sent it to you where he like had to learn how to walk again.
Oh, yeah.
He had kind of a goofy walk.
Oh, I thought you meant like after all those love scenes. I was like, what do you mean? What does that mean?
So he's going to be on my cardboard cutout.
Yeah.
Those are two, Jamie and by the way, Charlie Hunnam
yeah.
does something. You've interviewed someone a long time. You go back, you don't realize you do these interviews and then you go back and, log them, write them, and then edit the piece together.
Yeah.
And you start noticing things. I mean, we all have little, mannerisms we do. But it's interesting with Charlie Hunnam. I've noticed after interviewing him several times, when he finishes the interview, whether it's on a red carpet or in person, after you say, you're done, he always stands up. If he's in a chair, he stands up, escorts you out of the room, and then he always does this. Like when you're done the red carpet, he's like, no, thank you. Like with his hand on his heart.
Like,
and it's like the cutest little small thing, but it's so charming. Like,
yeah.
Mama like.
Still crush. I still have a crush.
I approve of both your crushes.
Okay, very good. Very good. Okay, well, thank you so much for being here. This was so much fun.
Thank you for having me, you guys, and congratulations on the new podcast. You guys
Thank
both do
you.
so much in the community, professionally, personally, community-minded as well.
Thank you.
I was honored to be here, and so cheers.
We're honored to have you as a Las Vegan.
Cheers.
Yes, cheers with our Vin Glacés.
And I'm glad I got to Vegas and meeting great people like you.
Yes, likewise. Thank you.
Thank you.